Let's face it, most of the items on our to-do list aren't usually much fun. I bet this guy would agree. But we've got one sticky note for you with some good news. And here it is. Pick up this month's issue of Community Spirit. It's available in churches, restaurants, and other businesses all over Tulsa, Bixby, Broken Arrow, Jinx, Claremore, and Owasso. It's fun. It's uplifting. It's even free. Community Spirit Magazine, the magazine for the Christian community. You're going to love it.
Imagine a child never being tucked in at night, or ever hearing, "Let's have ice cream." Now imagine the smile on their face as you tuck them in and prepare their favorite flavor. I've been a Bear Foundation foster dad and know the positive difference it can make in a little boy or girl's life. If you'd like to become a Bear foster parent, just contact the Bear Foundation today, and you too could receive your very own Love Rose. Thank you.
Golden Buffet, conveniently located across from Rama, featuring Mongolian barbecue, Japanese sushi, Chinese and American cuisine. Order from our expansive menu and buffet, open from 11 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. daily. On Fridays and Saturdays, we're open until 10 p.m. with special selections on our buffet both days. Don't forget about our 20% church discount all day Sunday. Takeout and senior discounts available daily. Golden Buffet, one of Tulsa and Broken Arrow's best secrets.
The most changing terrain in America surrounds the urban vibrations of Tulsa. Visit travelok.com. Oklahoma, Native America.
So in 1997, the idea for Just Between Friends was born. Take me back to the very first sale.
Well, I was a stay-at-home mom, and I had 2 small children and had grown up shopping on a budget, and it was just natural for me to shop consignment for my children when they were born. My mom, also on a budget, worked with a bunch of young families, and they came back from lunch one day with all these bargains, and this was in the Fort Worth, Dallas area. And she kind of asked them questions about where have you been, and they told her they had been to a consignment sale, like Just Between Friends. And so she called me that afternoon and she said, "Shannon, you need to start something like this in Tulsa." And since I was a stay-at-home mom, I really didn't want to work. I thought, yeah, that's a great idea, but I didn't want to work. So I called the person I knew who was the biggest bargain hunter I knew, and kind of ran the idea by her to see what she said.
And that was you.
Shannon called me. We knew each other from church. And I said, I think this is a great idea. I think Tulsa is prime for this. Because I was a big garage seller, did a lot of thrift storing. And so I knew that people in Tulsa would love this idea. It would fill a niche. I said, I'll do this with you. And she said, okay. And that's how our partnership started.
And it started in your house, right?
It did.
Yes.
In my 400 square foot living room. We used the kitchen drawers as cash drawers, and someone tried to buy my couch. And we had 17 consigners in my living room, and we got all of their merchandise ready for them. We just said, "Oh, bring it." And they brought it in trash bags, and it took us all week to get that stuff ready. It was the hardest $150 we made, I think.
The last night before the sale, I'll never forget, it is midnight. We have clipped, we have ironed, we have, washed, got stains out, done the tags, and we're sitting there going, this is our, 7th night in a row to do this. Our husbands are never going to let us do this again, because we're thinking the same thing. How do people do this? And at midnight, we're going to bed. I'm spending the night at Shannon's house, and she says, let's get out the vacuum cleaner. And we're vacuuming at midnight, getting ready for all of our shoppers that are coming the next day, because we wanted it to not only be something that our consigners families benefited from, we wanted shoppers to benefit from this.
Well, and we didn't want it to have a garage sale feel. So that's why we did it inside, and we make cute little A-frame signs, Mary Englebright looking. Devin came up with the name, and that's really where Just Between Friends was born, in our living room in 1997.
Of course, parents of young kids are always looking for a way to save money, and now a couple moms have banded together to bring you what might just be the largest garage sale in the world. ABC's workplace contributor Tori Johnson takes us there.
What do you think has led to the success of Just Between Friends, the popularity of this sale?
I think because it fills a need. And everybody who has children knows that you have to completely re-outfit them every 6 months. We have pretty much anything and everything it takes to raise a child. We went from my living room in 1997 to 58,000 square feet right now.
Plus, somewhere along the way, you decided that this is a good idea. We need to formally put this together and franchise out. Today, you have 95 franchises throughout the country.
95 in 20 states.
You've been featured on CNBC, CNN, Good Morning America. Do you ever sit back and say, wow?
Just take it one day at a time, and we just do our work as we're needed, you know, and it just seems to grow by itself. You know, it's just really our consigners, our shoppers, our friends that really like this idea, our owners who just continue to, you know, bring in franchise applications and just prompt us to do more and more and make it better and better all the time.
If you could have asked us back in 1997 if we thought it would grow to this magnitude, we would have said, no way. You know, we didn't have any big aspirations. Devin's a journalism major. I'm an elementary education major, so it's not like we went in with this MBA and said, all right, we're gonna franchise this, and we're gonna
be nationwide.
Yeah,
make lots of money.
yeah. It really, I think it was just because it worked in Tulsa, and the people here in Tulsa really embraced it, and they liked that they were able to save money and that they were able to make money, and then we started.
I embrace the idea, and I think it's a heart issue with a lot of things that we do. I embrace this idea because I think something like this is a very dignified way for families on an extremely tight budget to provide for their families. It's just being a good steward, in my opinion. It was just logical. It's just something that made sense, and it makes sense to a lot of people around the nation now.
After every sale, we get emails that thank us for having the sale, and they tell us what it means to their family, and it is humbling because we love what we do, and we get to bless others in the process.
And like you said, starting out, you put a lot of work into that first sale to make it look nice, to bring people in, and you said, you know, for $150, we did all this work. Yeah. I've read this year your revenue is expected to be $10 million. Is that true?
That's for all the franchise systems. That's gross sales, and you know the consigners take the majority of that back home. So we're blessing families all over the nation, and where they get to make some money twice a year in their community. And yeah, so we are expecting to do about $10 million this year in gross sales.
In 2003, Shannon called me and said, I think we should franchise. I've looked into this. I've talked to business owners. They're encouraging me. Do you want to do that? And of course I said yes, because of Shannon's passion and my work, we can get pretty much anything done. And so I just needed the steps.
Yeah. Would that be your advice to other people who have an idea that they think is a good idea, but they just don't know how to get it rolling yet?
Definitely. Our input to anyone looking to start a business would be to surround yourself with smart people, because you don't have to know everything. And that's something it took me, I'm kind of a control freak, and so it kind of took me a while to realize I don't have to know everything about search engine optimization. I don't have to know everything about web development. I don't have to know everything about PR. Yeah. Just as long as you know someone who can help you and you're not afraid to ask questions.
When you walk into a store, do you ever pay for anything full price?
I do. I don't think she does. She's still more of a bargain hunter.
I just feel cheated when I pay retail, and I always have, because I've always found another way to do it. And that was just from my upbringing, from my mother, who raised, 3 girls on her own.
Please join us next week for 2 more inspirational stories. For Oklahoma Women, I'm Amanda Armstrong.